Welcome. This is GPTV1 Live. Coming to y'all late night on a Sunday. I was sitting around thinking, and I kept watching this KSOO trial with Leroy. I don't want to keep saying KSOO. It's KSOO and Leroy that's on trial for this murder of this guy Whitaker. I believe his name is Whitaker. And of course, I covered Dominique Varner's testimony, and I gave my commentary on that. And the defense, they poking all kind of holes in his story and basically making him out to be a liar, which I think he is. But this police officer, I listened to his testimony today. This guy all over the place right here. And these type of witnesses can blow a case for you. They really can. And I hope they can hold this. Well, I ain't gonna say I hope, but I want to see, can the prosecution hold this case together? Because sometimes you could put a bad witness on the stand. And even this guy right here, Dominique Varner, they'll use his testimony to bring this whole thing down and get those guys a guilty charge, even though he's a notorious liar. But this guy right here, I want to know what's your story? I mean, he was just all over the place with his testimony. I said I would like to get my commentary on his testimony. I don't see what his motive is to have for the defense to have him so confused, like he evading questions, he wasn't answering questions directly, and the jury take notice of all that stuff. So these type of witnesses can blow a case for you. They can. If you get on the stand, you evading questions, and they make you out to be a liar, it becomes tough on the prosecution. So I want to see, can they hold this case together? And things like this can end up in a hung jury. But I want to go to this guy's testimony, and I want to get my commentary. I want to analyze what he's talking about. I just felt like he just wasn't a good witness, in my opinion. But let me share my screen and get him started on this. And like I said, I'm going to get my commentary along the way. Stay tuned, fam. Get some sound going on here. Let's go.
You'll have a seat right there. Yes, sir. And please speak closely, clearly, and loudly into that microphone.
The judge doing a good job, too.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you. Would you please introduce yourself to the juries?
I'm Officer J.L. Collins, Jr., ID 5686.
Okay. And you're currently with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office?
I am.
How long have you worked for the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office?
A total of 24 years.
What's your current position today?
Training Academy, professional standards.
Okay. How long have you been there?
Almost 2 years.
Prior to this position, what was your position?
I was in Zone 1 on the bike unit, and prior to that, I was in Zone 1 in patrol.
Okay. What area of town was Zone 1?
Springfield, East Side, downtown core area.
Okay. Turning your attention back to January 15th of 2020, were you on duty?
No, sir.
Okay. What were you doing that morning?
I was working in a off-duty capacity at a charter school.
Okay. What school was that?
A Lone Star charter school.
Okay. And were you working as a school resource officer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And because of that, were you also in your patrol vehicle?
I was.
Okay. Now, that morning on January 15, 2020, did you go up to the Merrill Road Shopping Plaza?
I did.
Okay. And that's in Duval County, Florida?
Yes, sir.
Right. And were you up there around 11 a.m.?
I was.
Okay. And what were you doing there?
Getting lunch.
Okay. Now, where did you go to get lunch?
Publix.
When you came out of Publix, did something happen that grabbed your attention?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
I was walking to my vehicle, and I can remember hearing what sounded like a vehicle backfiring from a distance. And as I continue to walk to my vehicle, I've heard a series of rapid fire. Based upon my training and knowledge, this was a rifle because of the rapid fire of the weapon. And I'll never forget it. I said subconsciously, I know they are not doing this in the middle of the day.
Yes, they do.
Turned and looked to my right, which was a
Like I said, you come out the gate, you got your story all together, but then fall to pieces later on.
great distance away. And I saw a subject running to a vehicle with a black and gray sweatshirt type hoodie on and a black Draco style pistol rifle in his hand, running
You got a good memory right now.
to a vehicle.
Where was that vehicle parked?
I was parked. So if you don't know the parking lot, there's a Wells Fargo, there's a gas station, then there's a storefront area where there's a Dunkin' Donuts, as well as a staffing agency. And it was in that corner area where that Dunkin' Donuts and that staffing agency was.
Is that
You are very detailed right now.
a staffing agency? Was it called Express Employment?
Yes, sir.
And what type of vehicle was it that you saw?
It was a Nissan,
Okay. Do you remember the color?
silver,
Okay. What part of the vehicle did that person with the rifle get into?
passenger side of the vehicle.
And at that point in time, did you know if anybody had actually been struck?
No, sir. I didn't see the crime, but I heard the rounds. I knew that something bad had happened. Either a building was shot into a vehicle or a person.
And what did you do?
Ran to my vehicle.
That's the question.
And did you go after the Nissan?
Absolutely.
All right. Where did you
Whoa.
catch up to the
The
Nissan?
defense gonna come back and use that. Remember, he just said, did you go after the vehicle? You just said yes.
So when I got to my vehicle, that vehicle, as soon as the subject got into the passenger side, I can't even determine
Gunning
the
it.
speed it was going. It was racing through the parking lot.
Balling.
There was a red truck that I had to block or cut off to get behind the vehicle, and I picked the vehicle up on Merrill Road exiting the Publix parking lot.
Did you later learn the person in that truck had a dash cam?
I did.
And I want to show you a clip from that dash cam, which is in evidence of State's Exhibit 187.
That car was getting on down. Like I said, right now you got his story all together. I watched this early. I got to get commentary on this one. I'm going live tomorrow too. Click that like button if you're in the building. Your first time here, click that subscribe button and the notification bell. I appreciate it. Almost at 8,000 subs. We're going to get there. I appreciate the new subscribers. But this is his dash cam right now.
Was that the same Nissan that you saw the person with the rifle get into?
Absolutely.
All right. And the same car you were chasing down Merrill?
Absolutely.
When the car turned on the Merrill from the shopping plaza, where did it go?
Took a right onto Townsend.
And what kind of area is the Townsend?
It's a residential neighborhood. Have a high school in the area, several churches. Townsend is a main thoroughfare used to travel in that area.
Did you attempt to stop the vehicle using your lights and sirens?
Absolutely.
Did the vehicle
When?
stop?
No, sir, it accelerated.
How fast did that Nissan
When did you start using the lights?
get up to?
I can remember one time looking at my dash, and that vehicle I was going almost 100 miles an hour.
In a residential neighborhood?
Was the vehicle still pulling away from you?
Yes, sir, it was.
And was there other traffic on the road that morning?
It was 11 o'clock, per lunchtime. So it was a lot of people because there's a school there, there's residential area, like I said, there's businesses in that area. So it was very highly populated. That vehicle was going over 100 miles per hour in the wrong direction of travel.
Did you try to keep pace with the vehicle?
So per our policy, I can't go in that wrong direction of travel. My goal was to stay on the radio, give directions of travel, give conditions that whether or not it was safe.
What about the speed though?
And I was also just trying to keep a visual on the vehicle as it continued to drive erratically away from me.
I can't help it, folks. In my opinion, this guy is a bad witness.
Were you able to maintain a visual of that
But he
vehicle?
gotta
for a
go.
while?
I was.
You gotta
Did
show
eventually
up.
you begin to lose sight of the vehicle?
So I got on the radio, obviously, to keep everyone abreast of the direction of travel as well as the conditions. While on the radio, there was another officer that was at Lone Star in Townsend, and he was able to pick up that vehicle at that point as they were pulling away from my sight.
All right, so another officer got behind the vehicle and radioed that to you
Yes, sir.
before you lost sight of it.
Yes, sir.
We've got passion, we've got determination.
Uh-oh.
Like, and if we set
They
our
gotta get
sights on
paid.
something, you better believe it's happening.
They're in it to win it. Just like I
Where
am.
did you go when you got to the intersection of Townsend and Lone Star?
So I'm not super familiar with that neighborhood at that time. So I made a left onto Lone Star. So that vehicle turned into a neighborhood. And so my thought was, I'm gonna go to the back of that neighborhood, hoping that the vehicle pops out
You just
so that
said
I
you
can
didn't know
continue
that
to pursue the
neighborhood.
vehicle if
You just said you didn't know that neighborhood.
he pulls away from this officer like he did me. The officer got on the radio and he said they're turning around on me. So at some point in the neighborhood, the vehicle made a U-turn or either got to a dead end, I'm not sure. But I guess I was pretty much paralleling it. The vehicle turned around on him. I got my vehicle turned around and I started going back toward Townsend on Lone Star. I was on Lone Star when I started going to the back of.
Extra explaining. You know, one of the things, I'm like, what's his purpose? What's his end game? And you got to remember, these police officers, they be wanting to be famous too.
What I thought was the neighborhood that he might have came out on if there was an exit to the neighborhood.
You gonna
So after
start
you
your
turned around,
podcast.
we're going back down Lone Star, you were heading back towards Townsend.
Yes.
And when you got to that intersection of Lone Star and Townsend, what did you see?
So when I got back to Townsend, as I get ready to turn on Townsend, I see that vehicle just pop out and it's gunning it. I mean, they didn't stop.
Balling.
They didn't look at any of the traffic. They had no consideration for the neighborhood that they were in. None of that. They just
did
they
a
took
hit.
off, and that vehicle just continued to accelerate.
Was that the same vehicle that you saw leave the shopping plaza on Merrill Road?
Absolutely.
Did you turn onto Townsend?
I did.
And as you were traveling down Townsend, did you see that Nissan do something?
Yes, sir, it crashed.
Okay. Approximately where did it crash?
I think it was the 1200 block of Townsend.
I'm going to show you what's in evidence as State's Exhibit 199. Do you recognize this map, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Does this map fairly and accurately depict the Townsend area, that residential neighborhood and the streets, Townsend, Lone Star?
Yes, sir.
And I want to go to states 200, which is a closer version of that map. Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is the top road Lone Star, is that what you were turning off of onto Townsend?
I was.
Okay. And when you saw that Nissan crash in the 1200 block of Townsend, can you show on the map approximately where you were in your patrol vehicle?
So I had to be either in between.
If you touch the screen with your finger.
Okay, I can. Okay. So in between Alderman and Timber Lane, somewhere within here, they popped out of one of either Alderman or Timber Lane, and they, like I said, my consideration was, hey, what if somebody walks out of their neighborhood? What if a vehicle backs out of their driveway?
And they still got the weapons
That
on.
vehicle had no consideration of that. That vehicle had one thought in mind, not being
Man,
apprehended.
them dudes trying to get out of Dodge. They just committed that hit. They still got the weapons on them.
So within that area, I saw that vehicle pop back out on the Townsend Road. I had to be within that area of Alderman and Timber, somewhere in there.
Is that where you were when you saw it, or is that where you were when it crashed?
So I'm not familiar with the area, so I went back to ride the area on one occasion, and
Imagine being able to build anything
They got to get
for any reason.
Let's go.
I believe I was within that area before you get to Timber, in between Alderman and Timber, probably somewhere around here, where I visually saw that vehicle crash.
And once the vehicle crashed, what happened?
I saw a male get out in all black of the driver's side of the vehicle. And I saw that same subject that had that black and gray hoodie on get out of the passenger side vehicle with that same Draco pistol style rifle in his hand.
Still got the weapons.
And what did that individual with the rifle in his hand do?
So I parked a great distance from the vehicle because that's what we're trained to do tactically. And I approached the gate not knowing if he was waiting to ambush me or whatever. When I got there, I saw that subject. He had jumped that fence, and when I got to the fence, he was jumping the fence in the rear of the residence.
Let me back up for a second. Where were you, about how far away were you when you saw that individual with the rifle getting out of that vehicle and fleeing?
It's hard to determine. I was still driving. I saw them exit that vehicle, and I had not even stopped my vehicle yet. That's how far they were ahead of me.
Okay. And how long of a look did you get of that individual as they fled?
So at no time was I ever close to the subject.
Yeah, you can't ID
And it was
them.
a short period of time. It was a glimpse of maybe a second or second and a half. It wasn't long at all.
And did you
You
lose
did
sight
not get a good look at them.
of that individual that had the rifle before you stopped your vehicle?
So, yes. And that's when I guess he was climbing the fence. And I can remember some of the units came up on the radio asking if he still had the rifle because I told them that he had jumped the fence. And I remember him still having that rifle and when he jumped that fence.
When you finally stopped your car, got out, and approached that home, where exactly was the individual that had that rifle in his hand that you were?
He was jumping the rear fence.
How long of a look did you get of him at that moment?
Not long at all. I'd say a second and a half. He was in motion. At no time was this subject standing still or not in motion. He was in motion, actively resisting, just trying to get out of the area.
What direction of travel was he going?
So, Mirror Road. I believe more of a westerly direction.
Is the next street over Belmead?
It is.
Once you got to the house that he had cleared the back fence, what did you do?
The residents let me inside to go through their house. I jumped the fence, and I got to Belmead, and I had lost sight of him.
Did you ever see
seem like you was really chasing him?
Did you radio his direction travel to other officers?
Absolutely.
After coming out on Belmead, did you stay in that area or did you go somewhere else?
So the vehicle crashed. I went back to the vehicle to stay there in case those suspects came back to the vehicle and tried to leave the area.
Did you provide a description of the person you saw run across the street with the rifle?
I did.
And at the time, do you recall what description you gave?
Basically, the most, I guess, identifiable things, what he was wearing, as well as the rifle, what color it was. And then I tried to give my best determination of height based upon me being nowhere near him at any time to be able to determine his exact height or weight.
But what was the height that you gave as a description?
I believe it was like 5'8" to 5'10", something like that. It was an estimation.
Does 5'5" to 5'8" sound?
Yes, yes.
In the grounds? Overruled.
Does 5'5" to 5'8" sound?
Yes, sir.
You sound like he got it all together right now, but when the defense get up there, this dude just basically just fell apart.
That the description you gave that day based on where you were when you saw this individual?
Yes, sir. At no time was I ever in close proximity of this subject. The first time I saw him in the parking lot when the initial shooting took place of the Publix shopping center. I mean, if you know that area, or if you don't, it's the Publix to where the Dunkin' is, that staffing agency, it's a long way. It's nowhere, it's not a short distance. So then when I was watching the subject get out the passenger side of the vehicle, I was still driving. And I was still a long way away based upon even where I showed on the map. There was never a time that I was right up there on that subject where I can give you a very clear and distinct. Everything I gave, aside from what I was able to visibly determine, which was the best characteristics, was what he was carrying in his hand and what he was wearing.
Monday.com's AI blogs are a total.
Let me skip past this commercial. If you're stepping in the building, this is GPTV1 live stream. Do me a solid, fam, and click that like button.
On this photograph?
Yes, sir.
Is that the same vehicle that you chased or followed from the shopping plaza?
Yes, sir.
And is that the same vehicle that you saw the individual with the rifle flee out of?
That's
Yes,
a
sir.
stolen car.
And that was the same individual you saw get into that vehicle at the shopping plaza?
Yes, sir.
Now, while you were waiting by that vehicle, did someone approach you?
They did.
All right. And was that a civilian?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall, or did you find out what that person's name was?
Barbara Buckley.
And what was the purpose of her approaching you?
So there was another lady that I'm not sure who she was. She came up to me, and it was another officer she came up to. We were there at the vehicle, and she said, "Hey, my neighbor, someone has been holding her hostage in her house for over an hour." She said 2 subjects had, and she said they changed clothes in her residence. And as she was telling us this, Barbara Buckley was running down the sidewalk in complete disarray and exhausted. She fell at our feet, just so overwhelmed. And she began to give me the account of the subjects holding her hostage in her residence, and them changing clothes and them leaving the residence. And she said it was a orange-colored vehicle, that orange or red that came and picked them up, and she said it was either a Challenger or Charger type vehicle, and that they got into that vehicle and left the residence.
So they crashed the car and ran up in this woman's house and held her hostage, and got some clothes from her house and changed clothes and had the homies come pick them up.
Did you relay that information to other officers?
I put it out on the radio. Yes, sir.
And did detectives take over that investigation?
Yes, sir.
And did you help maintain a perimeter around that Nissan until other officers got there to take over?
I did.
Did you later learn that there was a house on Belmead that had a camera that recorded some things regarding this incident?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And have you had an opportunity now to actually view that video?
I have.
Show you it's in evidence in State's Exhibit 190.
If you want to support the channel, check out the GPTV1 store, online store. New designs up. Appreciate it.
Did you see the individual at the top of the screen?
Yeah, like a less than, like a second and a half or less. I mean, blazing.
Do you recognize that individual?
Absolutely.
Right. Where do you recognize that individual from?
Same subject that fired those shots in that shopping plaza. Same subject that I saw exit the passenger side of that vehicle and head toward that fence. Same subject that I saw when I got to that fence that was jumping that rear fence toward Balmead.
Now, this is at 11:03:27. Did it take some time for you to actually come into view on this camera?
It did.
Go ahead. 11:05:55, still states 190. Do you recognize that individual?
Yes, sir, that's me.
How tall are you?
You look like
6'4".
you walking to me. It don't look like you was in a big chase.
This is still states 190. Do you recognize the individuals in this still shot from the video?
I do.
And who are they?
On the right is the subject with the black, and with correction, on the left is the subject with the black and gray hoodie. And on the right, that's me. And if you use that vehicle, I guess, as a...
Well, looking at this video, let me ask you this. Looking at this video, having been at that area at that date and time, do you believe your description that you put out was correct?
Sir, I was wrong.
Okay, just a minute, sir.
I was wrong.
Just a minute, sir. Thank you. What's the objection?
The judge,
All right, let me see court reporter and counsel at sidebar.
the judge keeping everything together. She not playing with them. She keeping it straight organized up in there. Make sure they following the rules and everything. This is the police officer testifying in.
Did you know that nearly half of U.S. TV streaming
in this KSOO trial, KSOO and Leroy. I don't want Leroy out. I know we all saying KSOO because he's the main rapper or whatever, and he had just got a record deal or something like that. And also, he's on another case. Like KSOO got 2 cases going on. You got one coming right after this one, another murder case. And they got Dominique Varner. He got murder cases on other people, not just on this particular case, but a whole other people on other cases. He got all that stuff pending, and he's trying to get it all down in 20 years. But let's go back to this officer and see what he's talking about. Let's go back here.
An exact height. It was I guess, something for me to give as an indicator to everybody that was coming to look out for the most distinct thing that stood out was what the subject was wearing and what he had in his hand.
Okay.
But no, this better gives me a marker of, because if I'm 6'4" and I'm on the right, and these images are pretty much similar, very close in height, based upon that vehicle as a marker.
Okay. No further questions, Judge.
All right, cross for Mr. Whitaker.
Yeah, this is what we want to get to.
Sorry, Mr. Whitaker.
Oh no, I want to get to the guy. She okay, but
Good morning, Officer Collins.
Morning.
I could not help but notice, as you are about to take, I guess, a left on Townsend, the subject car,
she's not gonna be up there long. But that other guy, when he come behind her,
the gray or silver Nissan, is directly in front of you, correct? And we can replay it if you'd like.
Yeah,
Ha!
Sure.
thanks.
187.
I remember on Merrill being behind it initially, leaving the parking lot.
now you explaining stuff and people, man, come on now.
That there was a red truck that you kind of somewhat had to cut off to get behind the suspect vehicle, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And I know we know now that that actually was Mr. Kruger's car who had the dash cam, correct?
I'm not sure his name, but yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That was the dash cam from the vehicle.
Okay. And you recognize your own car?
I do.
Okay. And, ooh, I'm sorry, I did it.
Yeah, I can get out.
Now.
I can get out of it, and then you can play with that how you want.
Hey, this is the police officer testifying in the KSOO murder trial. I had to get on here and get my commentary on this. I'll be live tomorrow too.
Okay. And right here, and for the record at 3864, we see your car behind the suspect car, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You don't have your lights and siren activated.
Right. So
And
they was gonna question that.
in regards to that. So you're coming out of Publix. I'm going to assume
I told them they was gonna question that. They're gonna question your policy
I shouldn't. You probably
and your training.
had a sub or chicken at Publix for lunch.
a wrap.
Okay. And so you're coming out. You're in your normal patrol uniform because you were working off duty.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're going to your patrol car, correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the first thing you hear is, if I remember correctly, is it almost sounded like a car was backfiring, correct?
Distant. Yes, ma'am. I heard just what sounded like a vehicle backfiring in the very distant. Yes.
And then the next thing you notice is you're describing this person running in some kind of gray and black sweatsuit, but with a large gun, correct?
So I heard what sounded like a vehicle backfiring. Then I heard a series of rapid fire coming from what I know is a rifle.
Okay.
And then I see a subject with black and gray hoodie running toward a vehicle, getting in a silver Nissan
She didn't ask
on
you
the
all that.
passenger side.
Correct. And so at this point, when
So when you understand, you start doing all that extra explaining when they don't even ask you the question. That's look bad on you.
you jump in your car, several things have already happened, correct? You've heard shots, correct?
Co-producer is going to give you unique sounds that actually fits your in seconds.
Yeah, I mean, when you start over-explaining stuff, they take notice of that, and the jury take notice of that too. Let me get some sound back in here.
Happened.
It happens.
Okay? You've heard not just one shot, but multiple shots, correct?
Right.
You, based on your extensive experience and training, you understand that to be from a high-powered rifle, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you
What I just say, they're going to test you on your training. They're going to question that.
physically see what, even from that far distance, you believe is a Draco rifle, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So at that point, you know there's been some type of shooting, correct?
Something bad's happened.
Okay. And then you're behind this car that you see him jump into.
Yes, ma'am.
This person with the large Draco.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're behind him, and they're actually stopped, correct?
They hesitated.
Okay.
They hadn't broken any traffic laws at that point.
But you just
You saw him
watched
jump in the car with the rifle.
get in the
Come
car.
on,
Right.
man.
I didn't watch the crime. I heard what
But you saw him running with this rifle, getting in that car.
was a rifle, rapid fire.
Okay.
I absolutely didn't see the crime. But what I do know, like I said, something bad at 11 o'clock has happened without even knowing what it was that had happened.
Okay. And obviously you knew it wasn't a fellow officer, right?
No, it wasn't, no.
This wasn't an undercover car. You recognized this as a subject car.
Well, I knew that a crime occurred. I mean, yes, I knew a
And
crime.
you knew it was at felony level, correct?
It was I think I put out on the radio, it was a 3380,
man.
which is a,
See, now you starting to stutter. You just said they haven't broken any traffic laws, but you knew something was wrong.
person shooting, aggravated shooting, yes, with a weapon.
Okay. But as we established from the video, when you're making that left-hand turn and going through the parking lot yourself, you don't have your lights inside.
So per our policy, we can pursue a vehicle without initiating our lights. I'm still trying to determine what I had. So when they begin to travel at a high rate of speed to get away from me, that began a pursuit. Okay. At that point, it was not a pursuit. I was following the vehicle.
You just said you was pursuing them.
When I initiated the pursuit, I did.
Okay.
At that point, I was just following the vehicle, which per our policy, we're able to do that.
Okay. And so then you get into this residential area, and we've seen some videos of you after you've gotten out of your car, you're still looking for suspects, correct?
So
Yes or no, sir? Were you
I'm
looking for
trying to
suspects?
make sure that I answer your question
When
correctly.
they ask you simple questions, they just want a yes or no. Then you start going into all this explaining stuff. That makes you look bad.
Question's real simple.
Okay.
Were you
Y'all tell me what y'all think.
looking for suspects?
Yes.
Okay. And then you ultimately, though, go back to your car on Townsend, right?
Go back to the vehicle where the subjects had exited, not my car.
Okay, so the Altima that actually crashed on Townsend Boulevard, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And fairly close to the Buckley home, correct?
The house was a little, I don't know exactly how many houses it was. It wasn't the next house.
Sure, but within your eye distance.
It was a distance down the sidewalk. I don't have an exact address or numerical that I can
Close
give
by or
you
not,
for
man.
an accurate distance that it is. So
Fair enough.
I don't
You
have.
making this confusing for
Fair-
no
fair
reason.
enough.
What's your purpose
But
here?
your role at that time
What's your purpose here?
is to start
You
holding
just a cop that was just following these guys and all that type stuff. I mean, what's up with you?
a perimeter, correct?
My role was to stay at that vehicle,
Okay.
and I think I mentioned it already, to make sure that the suspect didn't come back to that vehicle to possibly leave the area. I was on my radio getting units in place to do the perimeter of the area. That wasn't my role.
Okay. Ultimately, a perimeter is set up, correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And a perimeter, for our jurors so they can understand, is when you know of a geographic area that you believe suspects may be in, you try to actually put officers on the perimeter of that geographic area
Yeah, where's
in
your
hopes
backup
that you'll
at?
capture the suspects, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that's what happened in this case, correct?
We set up a perimeter
Okay. And you personally stayed on Townsend, correct?
at the vehicle.
At that car, making sure that the suspects didn't try to come back to that car, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But you never saw an orange Dodge Challenger, did you?
I didn't see it.
Okay. And you think there were two people that exited out of that Altima?
Initially,
Okay.
that's what I saw. But I've seen video since that
They ain't asked you
proves
all
that
that.
there were 3 people in that vehicle.
She didn't ask you all that.
When it came time to take things to the next level, I knew that I had to make a website, and Wix was.
I don't have any thing further. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right, cross
yeah.
for Mr. Robinson.
Uh-oh.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
We really finna go in now. Uh-oh.
Now, officer, let's explain the stage. Let's imagine this courtroom is a shopping plaza, okay? The Publix is up in the northeast corner, right?
Let me. So the Publix, if we're on Merrill Road, the Publix is here.
All right, so we'll say that the Publix is up there, right?
Right.
Now, your car is parked a little bit ways away. It's a little bit from the Publix, right?
It's in a parking spot in the parking lot.
But it's not right out in front.
No, it's not right in front of the store. I had to run to my vehicle.
All right.
We didn't ask you
Now,
that.
you sprinted to your vehicle, right?
I ran to my vehicle.
Do you remember giving a deposition in this case?
Sir,
Do you remember giving a deposition in 2021?
I mean, running, sprinting, I mean,
Is it the same to you, running and sprinting?
yes, sir.
All right, now you ran track and field, right?
Right. Woo! That's a blow.
Are you unsure if you ran track and field?
You're supposed to be
35 years
athletic.
ago.
But you ran track and field.
35 years ago.
All right. In this case, happened 5 years ago, correct?
Sir, 5 years ago. Yeah. Just case.
My question to you is, you ran track and field, and the answer is yes, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you ran, sprinted to your vehicle, and you did that because you heard those gunshots, right?
I did that because I'm a police officer and I have a duty to enforce the law.
And you have a lot of experience. You have almost a quarter of a century experience in law enforcement, correct?
Been with the agency for 24 years.
24 years.
And because of that, you have experience in these high-stress situations, right?
You're going to question your experience for sure.
Doesn't have a high stress situation during a career.
But you have.
I have.
You've seen people be shot.
I don't know if I've ever seen anybody get shot.
Would it refresh your recollection to read your deposition from 2021?
Oh, boy.
Would it help your memory?
Let's get deep.
Officer?
I've been in scenes where people have been shot.
Have you seen people murdered before? Yes.
I've been in scenes where people have been murdered before.
No. He
And
actually
you've been
seen
in
somebody get
active
murdered.
shooter type situations, right?
I have.
All right. That's different than the regular civilian. You're trained for these situations.
We go through active shooter training.
So not only do you have training through the department, but you also have training on the job in these situations, in high stress situations. Yes or no?
Are you asking me if I've ever been in one, or are you're saying training and then you're?
Let's break it up for you. Let's break it up.
Now you're trying to make this stuff confusing. You made that plain and clear. Yes or no?
Specific, if you don't mind, please.
When you were in the academy, you were trained how to be a police officer, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And in your decades on the force, You have experienced high stress situations like seeing somebody murdered.
I don't know if you can relate. I mean,
That's not my question. My question is,
have I ever seen anybody get murdered? The answer is no.
That's all he was asking you in the first place.
Your Honor, pitch 21, lines 11 through 19.
You act like you're the defendant. The defendant usually act like that. They try to throw you off and, get confused and try to make it all confusing. I still question this guy. What's your motive here?
Question. I think it's probably fair that your adrenaline was pumping. Answer. Your answer. I mean, it's an experience that you can't explain. I've seen people murdered before while working, and I've experienced auditory inclusion. I've been in that full mad shooting, active shooter type situation. It's something you can't explain to people where they will understand what happens with the body during that time, honestly.
Anything you
Those
say
are your words, right?
Yes.
All right. So you have a
can be used against you, even if you're a police officer.
different experience than the common person.
I think I've been in some situations where other people haven't that are in law enforcement. And the determination, I didn't see Charles McCormick get murdered, but I know something bad happened. I've been in situations where people were shot. I didn't see them get shot, but later I found out that they were murdered.
You said, I've seen people get murdered. That's what you said, right?
That's me basing it off of what happened when the person shot into a crowd. Me later finding out a lot of people that die, they don't die right away. Okay? Sometimes they die over time, they die at the hospital. I've seen people get shot, later determined that they were murdered.
What we're talking about here is your ability to react and focus in these situations. You're trained to handle these situations. That's why you ran, you sprinted to your car, you jumped in it, right?
I ran and sprinted in my vehicle
because of your
pursuit of vehicle that was leaving the parking lot of the Publix shopping plaza.
Because you're trained to react
to the car or not. That's all he asked you.
Those situations, right?
Yes.
And you were so quick that you were able to get up right behind the vehicle before it left the parking lot, right? We saw it in the video.
I was able to get behind the vehicle before it entered on the Merrill Road.
Now, you were in uniform that day, just like you are now, right?
Yes, sir.
You had your radio on you.
Yes, sir.
There was somebody, and now at this point, you know that it was a shooter. You just said that it was a horrible situation. This person is running with a Draco-style gun through neighborhoods, right?
Are you talking about the Merrill Road shopping plaza? Because you said neighborhoods. You said I'm behind the vehicle before exiting onto Merrill Road. Then you started talking about a neighborhood.
So let's break it down for you again. You follow the vehicle crashes, you talk to Mr. Cooper about it. One jumps out, runs west, one runs east, right?
Yes, sir.
You chase the one that goes west because you believe that that was the person that did the shooting.
Imagine being able to build anything.
You're making it simple and plain.
Right?
That was the person that I saw with the rifle running, getting in the passenger side of the vehicle that had the same clothing description and the weapon was the same that I saw. Yes.
Officer, my only question is that person jumps out and they run west, correct?
Yes.
And you chase him.
Yes.
Using your track and field legs, your long 6-foot legs, you chase after him.
35 years ago? Yes, sir.
Are you saying that you are now in poor health?
I didn't say that. I just said that I can't relate what happened 35 years ago to 5 years ago. Everything changes over time.
I'm not saying that you are a track and field star now like you were then. What I am saying is that you used to run track and field. Your answer is yes, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're in uniform. You have your radio. this person with a firearm is running through neighborhoods with family and children, right?
It's a residential area that I saw the subject running into.
That's what he asked you.
Because of your calls. This is a calls out over the radio to all of your colleagues. A perimeter is set up to catch this person, right?
At some point, yes, sir. Not initially.
There's multiple helicopters overhead.
I don't know about multiple, but we had the air unit come to the scene.
They had drones in the air trying to find the person.
I don't think we had drones at the time, but.
And you put out over the radio the description of the people that you saw.
I did.
Now, Mr. Cooper asked you for your answer as to the height of the shooter, and your original answer was 5'8" to 5'10". Do you remember what you said on that day in the heat of the moment over your radio?
I believe it was 5'8" to 5'10".
Would it refresh your recollection to take a look at the CAD notes?
That was a estimation
Officer,
of what I saw. So there's no time that I was ever close to that subject. Everything that you see from a distance is not accurate when you're talking about height. There was no time that I wasn't a great distance away from the subject in the Publix Plaza, nor when they were exiting the vehicle. I was still driving and I was at a distance. I wasn't parked. I wasn't up on the vehicle. There was never a time that vehicle wasn't accelerating away from me.
Officer, I'm going to cut you.
So I never had an opportunity to look at that person like I'm looking at you or be this close at any time. So that was an estimate or a guess for me to put out some information, as well as with the clothing and the weapon, for pursuing officers that were setting up a perimeter or that was coming toward the scene.
Officer, I didn't ask you to explain the answer that you haven't given us to us yet. And that is what it is you put out over the radio that day. Do you remember?
I told you I believe it was 5'8" to 5'10".
Would it refresh your recollection to take a look at the call action detail notes from that day? Would it help your memory if you looked at
I don't have a problem with that, but
that's what you heard the lawyer say. Hey, we ain't asked you to explain all of that. That's where you be messing up at, where you over explaining stuff. You know, it really do. It makes you look bad, literally.
Your Honor, if I could approach?
Okay.
If y'all follow any of this court stuff, like I you know, that makes you look bad to the jury too. When you can't answer simple questions, yes or no.
Page 4. It's the 53 page. Already confirmed his badge number 5686.
You know, Dominique Barner, he gonna get caught in so many lies.
You can read that highlighted portion, and I'm going to ask you the question again.
5686.
No.
Sir?
Read it to himself. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Officer, you put out over the radio that day that the person that you chased on foot was 5'5" to 5'9", correct?
Yes, sir.
That's what you said on that day.
I did.
All right. Now, you said a moment ago that you didn't have an opportunity to see the person. So let's break that down.
I didn't say I didn't have an opportunity to
I
see.
haven't asked you the question yet, sir.
Ha!
The person jumps out of the vehicle and they run west. You get out of your vehicle and you chase. You see that person clear a fence, right?
I saw him run toward the fence. I was in my vehicle still driving.
So you didn't
So
see
your
him jump.
testimony is...
When I got to that fence, that subject was jumping a fence in the rear of the residence.
So you didn't see him jump the first fence.
Your testimony is not that you jumped out of your vehicle, that you gave chase, that you actually cut through somebody's home and you chased him through one backyard.
I went through a residence to the backyard of that same residence that the subject jumped the fence, and I jumped the fence. The question in reference to what I put out on the radio, that video that had that marker of that vehicle, I was wrong in my height description. I was putting out
He asked you all of that.
Just information for coming. That was absolutely a mistake.
Officer, I'm not asking you to explain your testimony.
Well, you asked me about the height, so I was giving you.
I need you to focus on my question.
Yeah, you jumping all over the place, buddy. You all over the place.
Now, fences and you chasing him.
Okay.
You jumped out of your vehicle. You chased him through one backyard, correct?
Yes.
And you saw him jump a fence in that backyard.
Yes.
And then you went up to that fence yourself, right?
Monday.com is any work platform we tried in the past. We tried other work management platforms, not naming names.
That's what you testified to, buddy.
I went up to the first fence, and I jumped the rear fence.
All right. So you, as a trained officer, you see somebody jump a fence, sort of like this podium. I'm not saying it's the same height, but you go up to it. So you have a point of reference where you can say, I saw this guy, this shooter, next to this fence, and I walked up to it myself. The question hasn't been asked.
Okay.
You had a point of reference, correct? The fence.
No, I didn't have a point of reference.
You just said that you saw him jump over the fence. You just said...
Jump the fence in the rear of the residence.
That's what he's talking about.
I understand that, but you saw, just like you can see me standing at this podium, you saw him next to that fence.
I didn't see him next to the fence. I saw him jumping the fence. At no time was he not in motion that I ever saw him. Every time I saw him, he was accelerating.
I'm sorry, sir. Jumping the fence is being next to a fence. You got to be next to the fence in order to jump the fence.
Away from me, either just trying to avoid apprehension.
All right.
Now, dude right here.
Getting back to the apprehension situation.
I was just about to say something, but I'm going to hold my tongue on that one.
So again, you have a shooter that's running around neighborhoods. JSO is trying to find this person, and you can give a description of what it is you remember best. In the description that you give, BM, that stands for blackmail, right?
Yes, sir.
Gray hoodie, black sleeve, black sweatpants, right?
If I remember the black sweatshirt with the gray in it, yes, sir, and the rifle, the black rifle.
Now, you read this. There's nothing in there about a Draco-style firearm, right?
I'm not sure. I mean, I just saw one highlighted line that you told me to focus on.
Do you want to read it again?
The whole thing. Is that the whole, is that everything? Because I remember putting
Of
up
course
on
they got
radio.
everything.
I don't know if so that you're reading.
They're going to pull the whole transcript.
Is someone's typing.
Oh, see it. There you go. There you go. That's where you're messing up at. I've seen this before in other trials. I have. They'll claim that what's being transcribed is different than what they saying. You know, that's that twisted up stuff.
That's not the call that I voiced out.
Yep. See, there you go. There you go. There you go. When you see that, they full of crap. I don't. What's your purpose here? You trying to be famous? I mean, why? You know, I can't. I don't get you. Whenever they try to make it seem like the transcription is different from what they saying, that's them gaslighting. Gaslight would be a good word for that. Yeah, this guy may be a narcissist right here.
Radio. That's just someone. It's possible like a court reporter that's trying to capture everything that's been said. I don't know if they captured everything or not.
Officer,
I know what I saw though.
They only gonna go off the transcription. They don't care what you say. What you saying on that stand right now, they don't care. They only going off that transcript. That's a fact. You can't talk around that. You cannot talk around that. You can talk fast all you want to and try to confuse people. When it comes to that court, they going strictly off that transcript.
Sir, so when you call out over your radio, there's dispatch. All of this is recorded. And somebody that works for JSO takes down these notes. These notes are important, and they take those down, right? It's not a court reporter. It's somebody that works at your department, right?
That's human that can make mistakes, yes.
Are you saying that they made
now
a
you
mistake?
saying they
Oh,
making
no.
mistakes.
Right. So these are also,
This guy right here, a narcissist. He gaslighting right now. Because I don't see you trying to inject yourself in this case and make yourself look important. I just don't get you for real.
something that's done, it's kept in the regular course of business, right?
Was kept in the regular course of business.
So anytime you're talking over the radio, these CAD notes are produced. You know that in your 20 years of experience.
CAD notes, they document whatever the call taker received from the phone, from the caller.
They can pull
Let's
up
get
the
back
vocals.
to the topic of the height. Nowhere in your call, whether it's the recorded call or the actual notes, do you say, could be 5'5" to 5'9", I'm not sure. You don't say you're not sure, right?
It's always a guess. I've never been trained in determining people's height. At no time was I close to
That's not the question. That's not the question.
The subject. Every time I've seen the subject, it was at a great distance. And I think it's fair to say that anytime you're looking at something from a distance, it's not going to be accurate.
Officer, you said a moment ago to this jury that what you're giving are the things that stand out to you most because you want to find this person.
When they start talking to you like you real calm, like this lawyer is doing, it's like he talking to you like you're a little kid or something.
You didn't have to give a height at all. You could have said that there's a black male running through neighborhoods wearing this type sweatshirt. You could have left it at that, right?
Yes, sir.
But you confined it to a certain 4 inches. That's what you chose to do, right?
That was my estimation or guess.
All right. Now, very shortly thereafter, you had a conversation with Detective Gibson, right?
Yes, sir.
And you told Detective Gibson, quote,
Objection, Judge.
impeachment.
Okay. Overruled.
You told Detective Gibson, a homicide detective, quote unquote, 2 black males fled from the vehicle on foot in an eastern direction while the black male Officer Collins originally saw with a firearm fled westbound on foot, still in possession of a firearm. He described him as slender, 5'5" to 5'8" in height, wearing a black and gray hoodie and black sweatpants. He shrunk an inch.
I don't even remember what our conversation was. Did I write that?
Remember anything?
Hear my question again, officer. Hear my question again.
When they started got to repeat asking you questions, and all of a sudden you don't remember stuff, and earlier when the prosecution was questioning you, and you was trying to be so detailed and sound professional.
You had a conversation with a detective that was investigating this case, and you said that to him, yes or no?
I don't know.
You don't know. All right. We're going to end it right there with him. And I just want to give my commentary.
Would it refresh your record?
On this guy.
I've talked to officers. I've talked to
Pause
several.
on that. Stop sharing that. Yeah, this guy's all over the place with this. And I just want to give my commentary. And I found that this guy right here, he's just not making no sense. Like, he's straight gaslighting. He's twisting all these stories around. And there's no purpose of that. You do your job, you know. But things like this can get a hung jury, at least a hung jury, literally. In a lot of these cases, you know, they put bad witnesses on the stand. I believe this guy is a narcissist right here, in my opinion. He's trying to be the star of the show, the star police officer. Then those lawyers, you know, they want to be famous too. They get them more business. So I just think this guy was just a bad witness, and they just asked him some simple questions. He's just making it all complex and twisted up, all kind of stuff. So that's their job, is to poke holes in this story. And we're going to see what the prosecution going to do. I'll be back tomorrow, though, covering some more of this. This stuff is deep right here. This is GPTV1, checking out the replay, click that like button. If you're new in the building, click the subscribe button. Hey, y'all stay blessed out there.